You get ready for bed and put a blanket on. You go to bed very hungry. Day 4. I do not feel confident. Also, I have no idea how long this game is, so I don't know how quickly we're going to get to things going uh-oh zone, but I'm feeling uh-oh zone already. You don't dream the entire night, but you sleep through everyone waking up. And that's how fast a deer can run if startled. Whoa. Incredible. Impressive. Yawn. I wish we had a deer here. With food getting lower, let's just skip today's meal. Honestly, why don't you just eat a little jam, at least? Keep your blood sugar up? It's only for one day. Various cultures and religions have been practicing fasting throughout history. Yeah, but I also feel like that's gonna make morale go down real fast. Doesn't make us feel any better, Anatoly. What options do we have? Our food wasn't rationed properly. Anatoly leaves, mumbling to himself. Fucking no one... If you're yelling at me for not rationing food, no one fucking told me shit. Everyone goes to a separate area. What about your emergency food? Karen in the bedroom, Gregor in the living room, Mariah in the kitchen, and Anatoly in the bathroom. Who do you want to speak to? I feel like the most interesting conversation would probably be with Karen because she has the most, like, headstrong personality and, like, would make the biggest decisions, but I don't like her. But let's talk to her. Let's see what she's doing. Oh no, she whittles? Looks like she's slicing away a block of wood. Hey, can I let you in on a secret? I've actually enjoyed your cooking so far. The others expect me to be rude and mean, so I have to keep that reputation up, right? No, you do not. Can't have anyone thinking I'm soft. You're not sure where this is coming from? Promise me you'll give me some cooking lessons soon. Okay? Oh, she's a tsundere? I don't know how much I like it, but, you know, fine. She's not ready yet, but you nod politely. What do we mean she's not ready yet? You're definitely sure Karen will remember that. But you don't need to pretend to be a bitch. It just makes everyone more annoyed. And makes me more annoyed at everyone. Everyone looks pretty down this evening. Wish the rain would just stop. Doing great. We must almost be at the end of this nightmare. I'm so hungry. Gregor looks like he's already dying. Me too. You are too. You wish everyone a good night and get ready for bed. Oh, my cat's outside the door being like, I want to come in, I want to stream. You go to bed with a growling stomach. You have a strange dream? Oh, good. A boy is yelling at you in the kitchen. You keep telling him to lie down on the tray, but he keeps shaking his head calling you names. So you do it. You lie down on the tray and make your body as flat as a board. You show him how it's done. His anger turns to courage, and he pushes you into the oven. As the stench of burning hair fills your lungs, you see him sneering back at you. You wake up in a cold sweat. Hate it. Fucking, it looks like we're being cooked by, like, the berries and cream kid. Everyone seems to be sleeping in later than normal. Their stomachs must have kept them awake all night. The rain's still pouring outside. Can barely make out the trees from the windows. You hear stirring blankets, arms, and legs. I don't like how that was worded. It feels like we're eating an arm or a leg, and/or. Mariah looks petrified. I couldn't sleep. And Natalia has bags under his eyes. I need to stand up and let my cat into the room because he is... Oh, I don't... Oh, wait. I don't know if you can hear him, but you might have heard a little bit of Lambo yell. The storm is too loud. Karen looks out of it. The cabin was creaking so much last night. It's 'cause there's something roaming these halls. It sounded alive. Are we in fucking Monster House? This shit gonna eat us? Gregor looks a little gaunt. I got a good look out the window, and there was something out there. And couldn't see anything due to the rain. Great observation, Gregor. I was so hungry last night. Kept pacing around my bed. Kieran turns to you. When is it gonna end? Checked outside the door again. Floodwaters keep rising. Fortunately, we're going to need to stay put unless any of us wants to drown in rainwater. As soon as the weather lets up, we'll be able to scavenge for supplies. How close is the nearest town? I don't know. Didn't you have a map on you? I think I dropped it while we were running after Gregor. I'm sure it'll show up eventually. Mariah and Anatoly go right as a sheet. How are we gonna find our way back now? Well, have to ride out the storm. Mariah looks at you. We're down to our last slice of bread. I don't know how much longer we can put off eating. What about your emergency rations? It'll clear up in no time. I have an inventory, don't I? Maybe you're right. Group looks worried. They all gravitate to an area. You can tell Gregor's putting on fake optimism, and Mariah's having trouble. Which one do you speak to today? Let's see what Gregor's up to. Oh, hey. I know you already searched the kitchen, but I had to double check. A fool's errand. I wish everyone was in better spirits. It can't rain forever, right? Rainfall in this area can last days to weeks. You tell Gregor to stay strong. You know what? Thank you. I don't like the expression he's making. It makes me uncomfortable. The group is really thankful for your kindness. Gregor blushes a little bit. I always wanted to be the one that kept everyone in good spirits. But it's obvious you do that much better. Honestly, it's just 'cause I've been doling out the food. I will be the first to be eaten when the revolution comes. Gregor is looking at you fondly. You're sure Gregor will remember that? I don't know why I already had one heart with him, but hi. The rain is pounding hard against the wooden cabin, but at least none of it's getting inside. You tell Gregor to keep his spirits up and join the others. Also, my cat Lambo is behind me, which feels appropriate because he is named after the anime character from Hitman Reborn, and he is appropriately whiny to have that namesake. Oh no, everyone's looking at us like sad dogs. Like, look at everyone's face and tell me they would not make the sound. They look so sad. You could cut the tension in the room with a knife. You do. Everyone is staring at you. They're expecting that last piece of bread for dinner. You bring it out. Everyone cannot take their eyes off it. Instruct everyone to take a pinch, and slowly all 5 of you tear apart it like a wishbone. Everyone studies their piece of bread carefully, wondering how long it'll last. Karen is the first to eat hers. She chews each bite a few hundred times before swallowing. Anatoly chews it cautiously, opening his mouth once he finishes each bite. Mariah nibbles on it silently, eyes wide, moving from person to person. And Gregor just pops it in his mouth like a cherry. It was gone in an instant. The group thanks you awkwardly. It's not much, but you've run out of options. You wish everyone a good night and get ready for bed. You go to bed starving. Are we just gonna die? Am I missing something? Good morning. Morning. Let's check if the rain has stopped. It has not. It's still flooding. What are we gonna do? Humans can live about 2 to 3 weeks without food. Water isn't a concern. Rainfall should end in a day or two, right? Actually, precipitation can occur more than 215 days a year here. But do you think it'll actually rain that long? Anatoly, it's been days already. What makes you think it'll stop soon? Heck. Relax, everyone. Let's see how long we can ride this out. Fingers crossed it'll be done by tomorrow. Panic is slowly creeping in. Everyone's looking scared, but you need to survive. Karen and Gregor begin to discuss next options. Do you want to speak to Mariah in the kitchen or Anatoly in the living room? Think instead about everything you've done wrong and how you've doomed everyone? Let's just push that to the back of our mind and go talk to Mariah. Hey. Mariah looks relieved to see you. How are you holding up? Better question, how are you holding up? Not very good. It's very sweet of you to ask. Mariah's looking at you intently. She gets a little closer to you. I noticed you didn't use any meat when cooking. Usually I have to pick it out of the foods others make, but you respected that. Thank you. Mariah's looking at you with admiration. I need to speak with Gregor for a minute, but thanks again. You're definitely sure Mariah will remember that. Even as someone who's not, like, a vegetarian, fucking, if someone under any circumstances, like, hey, I don't want X in my food, and you're cooking for them, why would you put that in their food? It's rude. You decide to check out the drawer again. Hello. Uh-oh. Potatoes killed them all. There's potatoes where the others are. They'll be back. They want to explore the labyrinth of tunnels around the cabin. Surely you've seen the mouse holes, right? They connect all over the cabin. Must have been some mouse that created them, or something worse. Anyways, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Things are gonna get worse from here on out. You have a feeling Potato is telling the truth. You realize some drool is leaking out of your mouth. Disgusting. Don't even try to eat me. You'd just get deathly sick if you tried, and from the look of you, you need to retain all the water you can. Yeah, don't eat raw potatoes, that's bad for you. From rationing to cooking, you failed every common sense measure for basic survival this week. You knew something like this would happen, right? Never mind. With floodwaters rising, and no food now, I think it'll be a great time to go over fundamentals of starvation with you. I fucking hate this. We are so fucking screwed. This potato's going to be our downfall. When experiencing starvation, there are 4 factors that will determine if you live or die. Age, height, weight, and your degree of activity or inactivity. Oh, fucking, that being said, studies on starvation are honestly kind of interesting. There was a study at the University of Minnesota that went over, like, I think it was during, like, World War II, where people who weren't in the war felt kind of guilty, so they would sign up for things that maybe they shouldn't have signed up for, but people signed up for a starvation study, and by the end of it, like, one guy wanted to leave, and he cut his hand off, but then they were like, hey, do you want to leave because you cut your hand off? And he was like, no, please don't take me out. And they were like, we're gonna take you out because you tried to cut your hand off. But so, like, starvation does fucking weird shit to people, so I'm very scared of what's gonna happen in this. You've been especially lazy, so I think you'll survive a little longer than the others. The Harris-Benedict equation can help you figure out how many calories you need to simply maintain your current weight. The equation produces a number called the basal metabolic rate, or BMR. Stay with me here. BMR equals 655 plus parentheses 4.35 times weight in pounds, parentheses, plus 4.7 times height in inches, parentheses, minus parentheses 4.7 times age in years, parentheses. Got it? For fun, let's try it out on someone here, Mariah. Using the Harris-Benedict, she looks like she's 120 pounds, right? About 5'5", about 20 years old. Crunching the numbers, I think she needs about 1,388 calories daily. That's being abnormally stationary. She'd have to lay in bed all day and night, just eating and breathing, using her brain. Not very common when you're starving to death. People tend to get up more. She was being very active, let's say swimming through floodwaters. We need to multiply that by 1.9. So now she needs 2,638 calories per day. It's quite a difference, especially if you don't ration the food properly. Which you didn't. I guess that wraps up our first survival lesson. Hopefully we'll never have to speak again. Okay. You shut the drawer. Going over the numbers again. Yeah, we're incredibly fucked. I don't think any of us can take this much longer. Gregor's voice starts to crack. I don't want to ask this, but it's time. One of us needs to go outside and search for food. Oh, he's crying! Those tears are thick and maybe a little too white. He's crying milk. Everyone is silent. I'll go. Mariah, I used to swim all the time near my house, so I probably have the best chance just swimming through the floodwaters. No, let me go instead. Anatoly, you're not going. You look about 90 pounds wet. You're just gonna be swept away. You won't get very far if anything happens to your glasses, Anatoly. You're blind as a mole rat, remember? It's true, but... Little guy, let me go. Gregor, sounds good to me. Karen! His arms are definitely the longest, so he'd probably be the best at climbing trees out of all of us. No, that wouldn't be right, Gregor. Let me go instead. I get none of these options are good ones, but we need to find food or help. Gregor grabs a branch from the woodpile. He cuts it into different measurements. Since we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We'll each pick one from my hand, and the shortest will go outside and search for food. Anatoly should not even draw a thing. I think he would just be a bigger problem than a help. Sorry, yawn, if you could hear that. Ugh. You're not worried about drawing. You saw Gregor cut the branch lengths, so you can tell which one's the biggest of the bunch. You pick it. You watch the others intently. Will it be Gregor? Anatoly? Karen, will it be... Looks like I've got the shortest. And she is the shortest. Mariah. It's okay. I watched Andatory Forage earlier, so I'll know what to look out for. Just swim until you find higher ground, then scout the area. Maybe you'll find fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken. Karen, and Tully, and Gregor. I'll keep us alive. I promise. She promised. Also, they don't ask for my name and they do not refer to me by name. Am I real? Everyone watches as Mariah leaves the cabin. The silence is deafening. Goodbye. The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is, and then silence. I don't like that sound. Mariah has left the cabin. I'm sure we'll see her again. The rest of the group nods. Everyone stays up waiting and waiting. The sun is completely set. One by one, each person quietly shuffles off to bed. Oh no! Achievement unlocked. Picture of Mariah. It says dead to me. No! You get ready for bed and easily pass out. You have a strange dream. The two women in front of you could be twins. I do wonder if it changes who goes out based on who you're closest with, because I think I was closest with Mariah. One of them you recognize, the other is a guest. You ask the guest to sit on a shovel, and then you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong, you can't get her into the oven. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking in the coals. You feel 4 hands and shoulders, both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair causes you to throw up on the embers. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal door off the oven, tearing through the wood logs in the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two through the woods. The burns chill with the wind. The guest looks behind her, and her eyes widen when she sees you. We're actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. Your fury rips trees out of their roots, soil from the ground, rocks from their pits. You've never been this angry in your entire life. Their stamina can't last forever, and you're gaining on them. As you trample through the field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch a glint of it in the sun, golden. As if by magic, the earth spits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. Splits, not spits, sorry. You fall into the pit, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs. You're unable to scream anymore. You wake up in a cold sweat. Hate it.